Hi YouTube. This is Amber and I had gastric bypass in 2006. I am currently 115, 120 pounds. I was 230 at my biggest. Let me see. My little girl is sleeping, my little boy is at school, so I decided to go ahead and make a little video. I'm sorry the quality of the video is not very good, but I have a webcam and that's all I got right now. So I look kind of pale and dead. I try to open up some of the windows, but I still look kind of silly. When I had my little boy, I had kidney stones, and I ended up having to have a emergency C-section when I was 34 weeks, right at the date of 34 weeks of being pregnant. I had a lot of lower abdominal pain, and it caused me to go into labor early. I was in the hospital for I think like 4 days, and I pretty much passed out from the pain, but they couldn't really do anything for the kidney stones because I was pregnant. There was nothing that they could give me. They couldn't treat the kidney stones or anything, so my doctor had to make a decision, and his decision after seeing me in that much pain was to deliver my son early. Like I said, I was 34 weeks pregnant, and I guess he figured that as soon as I delivered the baby, that he could, that they could get a specialist to come and take care of the kidney stones. After my son was born, they retested me, and they said that the kidney stones were gone. Since I was on pain, since they had me on the epidural, one of the nurses told me that maybe I passed the stone on my own, which seemed kind of weird because they said it was a pretty large stone the size of a lima bean. So I'm not too sure about that, but she said maybe you passed it. Well, it's not there anymore. They couldn't really give me any logic to what had happened and why it was gone all of a sudden. About a year later, I started hurting again, the same abdominal pains and some back problems as well, some back discomfort. I went in and I was tested again, and sure enough, I had that kidney stone still. I guess whatever my kidney stone, the make of it, because mine are made of calcium and oxalate. So I guess whatever they used to test it out after I had my son, it didn't show up. But this time it did show up, and it was the size of a lima bean, and it was causing extreme pain. I ended up having surgery for my kidney stone. They did a lithotripsy, and that's where you go in and they put you out completely. It was like ultrasonic shock waves of some sort, which break the stone apart, and then they put like a little hanger in there inside your, I don't know exactly, but it's supposed to help the stone pass on its own. I was in excruciating pain when I woke up, and my urine had tons of blood. I was very uncomfortable. I was in so much pain, and after the second day, I couldn't urinate. So I had to go to the emergency room, and they gave me morphine, and the pain finally went away for as long as the morphine works, obviously. And they ended up having to put a catheter. So I was walking around with a catheter for like, I think like a week or two. I mean, it was ridiculous. That's what it's called. That little hanger that they put in there was a stent. It's like a little metal rod that kind of bends in there, and it opens up the urethra, I believe, so that the stone can pass. But then I was on the catheter, and I still had that little stent in there, and it was just a nightmare. The whole thing was a total nightmare. I was in a lot of pain. It was very expensive, like ridiculously expensive. I think I cried when they told me how much it was going to cost. But I had the lithotripsy, and finally I was able to pass the stone, which was very, very painful. They finally took me off the catheter. It was just a nightmare. I started researching on YouTube on different ways to get rid of kidney stones, because obviously I didn't want this to happen again. It was so much pain. It was so painful. It was expensive. It was just a really, really horrible, horrible experience. People say that they equivalent that kidney stones is the equivalent of giving birth to a child. I don't know about that, but it was ridiculous. That pain was, I was in like fetal position on the couch just crying. It was ridiculous. So I've never been in pain like that ever in my life. Like I said, I was doing some research online, and I came across a video, and they were talking about an herbal supplement called Chanca Piedra. Chanca Piedra. I looked it up online, and I did some research, and it's not bad tasting, and I usually put it in juice, and it's worked. It's worked. I haven't had any more issues. The doctor that did the lithotripsy said I might need several of the shockwave therapy lithotripsy stuff, and I was able to maintain it with the Chanca Piedra. I haven't had any more issues. Obviously, my bank account couldn't handle more of those lithotripsy surgeries. I definitely think that the Chanca Piedra works. Also, I went to a nutritionalist, and they told me, instead of drinking sodas, drink some like watered down lemonade, like the Minute Maid lemonade. The citric acid breaks stones. I've been drinking more water. I've been trying to stay away from vegetables and foods that have the oxalates in it. And you'd be surprised if you look up oxalates. A lot of healthy things have oxalates in it, like spinach. I think strawberries has them. A lot of foods that I eat had oxalates. So I suggest, if you have kidney stones and you're desperate, instead of doing that whole lemon juice, drinking that, like, I forgot how many lemons it was. I did that stuff. I was gagging. It was disgusting. It didn't work. Just save yourself some time and just go get the Chanca Piedra and try it out. There's no harm in it. It was very inexpensive. Just try it and give it a shot. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. Send me an email, or post something below, and I'll get back to you if I can. But I'm serious. That was the worst pain I have ever endured. That was awful, awful, awful. I thought I was dying. And I'm a pretty tough girl. I mean, I had the gastric bypass, and I had both of my children, and still, the kidney stone was just, it's no joke. That hurt awful, 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 awful. So I hope this helps, and you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks.